Hey everyone, today I'm going to show you not only how to obtain and craft every single special weapon in the game, but I'm also going to quickly rank them and put them into my own tier list. Let's get right into it. First up, we're going to start with the Blade Arm. The Blade Arm for me is like a bottom of the barrel weapon, and at no point in the game does it feel good to use or is any fun at all. You have to get so close to Reaver bots to even do any damage with it, and the damage you do is pretty pathetic overall. And it's such a shame because for me this weapon had massive potential to be something really cool, but the developers definitely fell short here. The only cool thing about the Blade Arm is that it makes a really interesting pew pew sound when you use it, and when maxed out it sends a tiny slice forward to hit enemies, but otherwise that doesn't make up for any of its shortcomings. When using this weapon, you cannot strafe or even move, and on top of that, it only seems to have one very stiff animation. In this game, you typically want to keep your distance from enemies, and that is one of the major reasons that I'm placing this in the D category. But if you want to see how to build it, continue watching because I'm going to show you how to do that now. Make sure you've acquired the yellow refractor. Then follow my path on screen and make your way to Uptown and KTOX TV, where you're going to play the Beast Hunter minigame and get the Zet Saber. Now follow my path on screen to locate the pen light. After grabbing the pen light, return to roll, and you can finally make the Blade Arm. Next on our list are the Splash Mines. This is the first special weapon you get in the game, and while it's pretty good to start off with against the pirates, especially Marlwolf, it falls off hard later on. You can only have 4 mines out at a time, and they also have a timer on them, so if nothing hits them after a while, they just explode. This special weapon is completely forgettable, and after it serves its initial purpose, I suggest you just ditch it and pick up something else that's actually going to pack a punch. Still, it can be a bit fun to play with, so I'll definitely place these in tier C. You get the splash mines at the beginning of the game immediately, so there's nothing else that you have to do. Next up is the Drill Arm. This is a completely useless special weapon when used in combat, but it's essential later on in the game for drilling down crumbling walls. Behind those crumbling walls are components that are used to create really powerful special weapons such as the Shining Laser. The Drill Arm looks badass, it's really cool overall, but there's not really much to say about it. So outside of drilling walls, you can't really do much with this thing, so I'm going to put it in tier D. To obtain the Drill Arm, you need to make sure you've gone through the story enough up until the point of where you open the main gate. Then, at the bottom of the main gate, make sure you follow my path here on screen to get the blunted drill. Then simply go back to roll and you can make the Drill Arm. This next special weapon is one that has no combat capabilities whatsoever, but is still amazingly fun to play around with and is incredibly useful. The Vacuum Arm is a perfect special weapon for when you want to farm Zenny and upgrade your other weapons. And if you want to upgrade it to the max, its range and energy go through the roof, allowing you to grab refractor shards from really far away and to keep using it over and over again. This is one special weapon you can get pretty early on in the game, and it's useful all the way to the end. If you're the kind of person that just likes to use their Buster Part, this is the perfect companion to your Buster Part, as it's just going to pick up the refractor shards that drop on the ground and you don't have to worry about actually using an attack-based special weapon. This weapon definitely belongs in the A tier. It's useful, it's fun to play around with, it can make you a whole lot of money, and you never have to worry about running around and picking up Zenny shards as they disappear pretty quickly. So if you're interested in the Vacuum Arm, I'm going to show you how to assemble it right now. Once again, you're going to need to make sure that you've acquired the yellow refractor and have access to Uptown. Let's first get the broken propeller. Follow my path here on screen once you're in Uptown and you'll locate it in a trash can near the hospital. Next, we're going to grab the broken motor. Starting in front of the library in downtown, follow my path here on screen and you'll find it in another trash can. Finally, grab the broken cleaner in the Apple Market and then bring all the components to roll and you have yourself the Vacuum Arm. Next, let's talk about the Shield Arm. This is another one of those looks good on paper special weapons, but in reality it's pretty useless. Rather than stand still and block attacks, I'd rather just strafe and move, as well as retaliate and get some damage in. It's still a pretty funny weapon though, as you can see on screen. To put it simply, this is another D tier weapon that is not worth your time whatsoever and is just a waste of space. If you like the idea of occasionally blocking an attack and Mega Man having a shield, I'd say go for it. Now I'm going to show you how you can put together the Shield Arm. Getting this one can definitely take a bit of time, as you need to not only obtain the yellow refractor, you also have to move the story along until after the Jun ruins and also complete Jim's hideout side quest. After some time, you can return to Jim and he'll give you the Mara Wolf shell as a reward for helping him complete his base. After getting the Mara Wolf shell, you're going to need to follow me here on screen to make your way to KTOX TV and play the Balloon Fantasy minigame. After playing the minigame all the way up to rank A and completing it, you're going to receive the Mystic Orb, in which you can then return to roll and you can have your shield arm. The grenade arm is a very interesting weapon overall, but it lacks some punch that the other weapons in higher tiers provide. This weapon allows you to move as you use it, and you can tap forward to animation cancel and shoot out grenades even faster. The grenades can also bounce off of walls, making it useful in tight corridors and hallways to clear out Reaver bots. But even with the energy maxed out, it still doesn't last very long, and the damage leaves a bit to be desired. You do get it pretty early on, but it's not exactly useful for any real boss fights. So for the fun factor alone and the fact that you can bounce grenades off of walls, I would have to place this one in tier B. Next, I'm going to show you how to get the grenade arm. You're going to need the grenade kit in order to get the grenade arm. Follow me here on screen once you get into the ruins that has the yellow refractor, and you're going to find it in a chest. So a lot of you are going to disagree with me on this, but I really do think the Grand Grenade is a top tier weapon. Grand Grenade is like a better version of the grenade arm with higher damage, huge AoE, and a niche use case in the main story campaign. Over the years I've played Megaman Legends, I always use the Grand Grenade, and it's remained one of my favorite special weapons ever. As you can see in the video, when fully maxed out, this thing hits like a truck. The only downside is the energy pool and the fact that you get locked up for a brief second where you have to stand still in order to let it shoot. Otherwise, this is an A tier weapon for me, and one I think that everybody should try at least once, especially when upgraded. Now I'm going to show you what you need in order to get the weapon. In order to get the bomb schematic, you need to make sure that you've repaired the flutter as well as have the red refractor. Then when you're inside the flutter, go inside the green door into Barrel's room and you'll find the bomb schematic in a chest. Now we're going to rank one of my other favorite weapons, which is the machine gun arm. I feel like it flies under the radar a lot of times because of how early you can get it in the game, but make no mistake, this thing is absolutely amazing. The machine gun arm has a high rate of fire and also doesn't cost that much to upgrade, which makes it perfect early on and all the way until the end of the game. Movement in Megaman Legends is absolute king, and this weapon allows you to keep moving so you can dodge damage and dish some damage back at your enemies. So for all of the reasons that I just listed, I would probably have to put the machine gun arm in tier A. In Megaman Legends 2, the machine gun arm is noticeably weaker, and I think that's because the developers realized how good it actually was in Megaman Legends 1. So now I'm going to show you how easy it is to get the machine gun arm. To get the Bloom Bear parts, you want to make sure that you've defeated Tron at the very start of the game. Then downtown, you'll see a poster here with a piggy on it. Approach the garbage can under the poster and you'll find the parts. So the Powered Buster is up next. It's an interesting weapon overall, and it does hit decently at the start of the game, especially in the fights with the pirates on the water, but otherwise it's totally forgettable later on. It requires you to stand still, and it shoots pretty slowly even when maxed out. Because of this, it constantly puts you in danger, and it's hard to kind of get out of the way once you fire it. Don't get me wrong, it definitely looks cool and it's fun to use overall, but there are so many other options that simply outclass it. So for all the reasons above, I would have to say that this one easily belongs in tier B. It's another special weapon that's not very hard to craft, so I'm going to show you right now how to get it. Follow my path on screen in the Closer Forest to locate the cannon kit. Bring the cannon kit to roll and make the weapon. The Spread Buster is an incredibly cool weapon that hits hard and looks awesome. When you upgrade its special stat, it can shoot out more and more grenades, making it able to one-shot many Reaver bots up close. The downsides are that once again it locks you in place and makes you vulnerable to attacks, but I'd say that it's worth it still. The AoE damage is so massive that you can even miss the target and still damage them. This is an absolute must-have weapon, and I honestly feel as if you shouldn't miss out on crafting it. This one I'll have to put in tier A, and it could have been a tier S weapon if you could acquire it a little bit earlier into the game and it could shoot a little bit faster. Now I'll show you how to craft it. While you're inside the Closer Ruin subgate, follow my path here on screen and you're going to find yourself the Ancient Book. In order to get the old launcher, you need to make sure you've gone to the bottom of the main gate and grab the blunted drill to make the drill arm. Then, go to the Jun Ruins and follow me on screen to grab it from a chest. Progress the story up until the point of where you collect the red refractor. Then, for the arm supporter, you're going to have to complete the second police mission. I have a guide for all the police missions in the video description below. After getting the arm supporter, return to roll and she'll craft you the spread buster. These last two special weapons are leagues above anything else on our list. First, we have the Active Buster, which you get in the Closer Forest subgate. This weapon fires homing missiles that track their target. When fully upgraded, it's a weapon of mass destruction, firing incredibly fast, having infinite energy, being able to attack from across rooms, and hitting almost as hard as the Shining Laser. You get this weapon easily and pretty early on, and from then, it's useful all the way to the end of the game. I would have to honestly say this is the best weapon in the game overall, as it's a lot more fun and interesting to use compared to the Shining Laser. Active Buster easily belongs in a tier of its own, but for now, I'll place it in tier S. To make the Active Buster, it only takes one single component, the Guidance Unit. Make sure you've progressed the story all the way up until you're at the point of where you're in the Closer Forest subgate. If you follow my path here on screen, you're going to find the Guidance Unit inside of a chest. There isn't too much to say about the final special weapon on our list, the Shining Laser. This weapon, when upgraded, literally breaks the game, killing enemies in the blink of an eye. It looks badass, it sounds cool, and you can rotate as you shoot it to kill multiple targets. It's so good that sometimes it gets a bit boring to use, but otherwise, nothing outside of the Active Buster even comes close to its destruction. The Shining Laser is literally also in another tier of its own, and I would even say that it's an SS weapon with nothing coming close to how powerful it actually is. The Shining Laser is a bit complicated to put together, and that's why I have a full guide in the description below going into detail how to complete Jim's hideout side quests, as well as guides for completing the museum, which are all required for assembling it. The first component you're going to want is the comic book from Jim's hideout side quest. Then complete the museum and talk to the girl in the green dress to get the prism crystal. And finally, after obtaining the drill arm, follow my path here on screen to acquire the weapon plans. And there you have it, that is every single special weapon in the game, how to craft them, and what I would personally rank them as. I just want to say thank you to everybody who watched through the entire video, and if you want more videos like this, just leave me a like and subscribe, maybe even leave me a comment down below so I can read them, and I'm definitely going to make more content like this in the future.